The weight of silence. They called him invisible, just another black janitor pushing a mop through the sleek, high-tech halls of Halberton Dynamics. But invisible men see everything. And when Curtis Mitchell's adoptive father passed away, the CEO, Alan Prescott, waved off his bereavement leave with a flick of his wrist minutes before approving time off for a white employee's pet funeral. For most, that might have been the end of the story. But Curtis was about to uncover a secret buried for 30 years. One that would change not only his life, but the legacy of the company itself. The call came at 4:37 a.m., pulling Curtis from the shallow edge of sleep. His phone buzzed violently against the cheap wood of his nightstand. He answered with a groggy, "Hello?" The voice on the other end was distant but professional. "Mr. Mitchell, this is St. Augustine Care Home. I'm very sorry to inform you that your father, James Mitchell, passed away in his sleep about an hour ago." Curtis sat bolt upright. Was he in pain? "No, sir." The night nurse checked on him around 2 a.m., and he was resting peacefully. By 3:30, he had passed. Curtis thanked her mechanically, then ended the call. He didn't cry. He just sat there in the dark, staring at the framed photo on his nightstand. It showed a 16-year-old version of himself, standing beside a tall white man with kind eyes and a weathered face. James had been 60 when he adopted Curtis from the foster system, taking in a black boy that no one else had wanted. Now, 12 years later, he was gone. Curtis went through his morning routine without emotion. He couldn't afford to miss work. Tuesdays were short-staffed at Halberton Dynamics, and he needed every hour on his paycheck to keep up with the medical bills James had left behind. Still, by the time he passed through security at the Halberton Tower, Curtis had made up his mind. He would work today, then go to HR and request bereavement leave. He moved like a ghost, pushing his cleaning cart through the endless corridors of steel and glass. Few employees even looked at him, much less acknowledged his presence. That was the thing about being invisible. People rarely suspected you were listening. By noon, he made his way to the Human Resources office. Linda Thompson, one of the few people in the company who treated him like a person, gave him a warm, if tired, smile. "Curtis," she said, "everything okay?" "My dad passed this morning," he said quietly. "I'd like to take 3 days of bereavement leave, starting tomorrow." Her face immediately softened. "Oh, Curtis, I'm so sorry." She typed a few things into her computer, then frowned. "According to your file, you're still within your probationary period. You've only been here 5 months. He nodded. "Is that a problem?" She sighed. "Technically, you're not eligible for bereavement leave until you've been here 6 months. But Mr. Prescott can make exceptions. I can send a request up, or should I speak to him directly?" Linda hesitated. "He's in the building today. It might be better if it came from you." The executive floor sat on the 20th story, a world apart from the rest of the building. The carpet was plush, the art was modern and expensive, and even the air felt filtered through money. The receptionist eyed Curtis with confusion as he stepped off the elevator. "Can I help you?" "I need to speak with Mr. Prescott about bereavement leave," he said. "Do you have an appointment?" "No. HR sent me." The woman sighed and picked up the phone. After a brief exchange, she hung up. "You have 2 minutes." Curtis knocked once on the heavy oak door, then entered the voice that said, "Come in." Alan Prescott didn't look up. He was a lean man in his early 50s, with silver fleck hair and the posture of someone who hadn't cleaned anything in his life. When he finally looked at Curtis, a flicker of something recognition maybe passed over his face before it settled into practiced neutrality. "You wanted something?" "My name's Curtis Mitchell. I work in maintenance. My father passed away this morning. HR said I need your approval for bereavement leave since I'm still in probation." Prescott leaned back, steepling his fingers. 5 months in, and already asking for exceptions? "It's my father's funeral, sir." "We all have responsibilities," Prescott replied coolly. "The company is preparing for a major product launch. We can't afford to lose people, even janitors." "It's only 3 days," Curtis said, forcing calm. "If I make an exception for you," Prescott said, glancing at his tablet, I'd have to do the same for everyone. Request denied. As Curtis turned to leave, a young white employee in a sleek suit brushed past him into the office. "Hey, Mr. Prescott," the man said. "Can I take Friday off? My dog's getting put down." Prescott's voice turned warm. "Of course, Tyler. Take all the time you need." Curtis's hands curled into fists at his side. That night, he made the only decision he could. He would go to the funeral, job be damned. But Prescott wasn't finished. As Curtis walked through the lobby at the end of his shift, Prescott approached with two executives in tow. "I understand you plan to leave anyway," he said. "I have to bury my father. If you walk out of this building tomorrow, don't bother coming back." Curtis looked him in the eye. "I understand." The funeral was simple. James Mitchell had requested no pomp. Curtis gave a eulogy without notes, speaking from a place of raw love. "My father didn't choose me because he had to," he said. "He chose me because he saw something in me worth believing in, when no one else did." After the service, their old neighbor Mrs. Abbott hugged him tightly. "James was always so proud of you," she whispered. "You were his whole world." Later, Pastor Moore handed Curtis a letter. "He asked me to give you this." It was handwritten in James's shaky scrawl. "Curtis, if you're reading this, I've gone ahead. Don't mourn too long. I lived a full life, and the best part of it was being your dad. I saw in you something fierce, something kind, something strong. Never let anyone make you feel small. Never forget, you were born to rise." When Curtis returned to work 3 days later, he was demoted to restroom duty 42 bathrooms across 20 floors. Later that day, a young tech intern named Malcolm Green approached him. He was black, maybe 22. "You don't remember me, do you?" Malcolm asked. "You helped me clean up spilled coffee in the cafeteria once. I've been keeping track of everything going on here. I think we could build a case." "A case?" Curtis asked. "Prescott targets black employees. Always under the radar. Always with policy to cover it. But I've been tracking patterns. You're not the first." Later, back at home, Curtis went through a box of James's old papers and found something strange. An old photo, yellowed and curling at the edges. Two boys, one white, one black, standing in front of a huge house. On the back it read, "For my son AP. Ape. Prescott." Curtis stared at the white teenager in the photo. The resemblance to Alan Prescott was undeniable. What did James know? He showed the photo to Malcolm, who began researching. Days later, Malcolm found a 1994 article on the Prescott Family Foundation story about sealed adoption records and a scandal that quietly vanished. It aligned with Curtis's adoption timeline. They ordered a DNA test. While waiting for the results, Curtis faced endless humiliation. Prescott mocked him during inspections. Co-workers avoided eye contact. Still, Curtis pushed through. When the results came, they were definitive. 99.9% match. Alan Prescott was Curtis's biological father. Malcolm uncovered more. Curtis's birth mother had been a law student named Celeste Reynolds. Bright, determined, black. She died in a car accident in 1995, right after threatening to expose the Prescotts. A woman in legal Eleanor, Morgan, secretly helped Curtis dig deeper. She was silenced. Eleanor said, "Your father, your adoptive father. He took you in to protect you. He didn't tell you because he feared for your life." Curtis's blood ran cold. The next day, security footage leaked Prescott mocking Curtis's father's death. "You should have seen his face," he laughed in the clip. "Begging for time off, like I care about a janitor's dead dad." The internet exploded. Within hours, Prescott was trending worldwide for all the wrong reasons. Facing backlash, he tried to buy Curtis off, $200,000 in cash. Curtis refused. "I want the truth," he said. They confronted Prescott at the private airfield where he planned to flee. Curtis recorded everything. "You were afraid of the scandal," he said. "I was afraid of you," Prescott admitted. "You're proof of my shame." He confessed on camera. Everything. The media ran the story globally. Pinnacle fell. Prescott was arrested for fraud, his family legacy in shambles. Weeks later, the board of Halberton Dynamics offered Curtis a settlement. He refused. Instead, he proposed a foundation in James Mitchell's name for foster youth scholarships and ethical corporate practices. They agreed. Curtis now leads the James Mitchell Foundation and sits on the executive board. From janitor to justice maker. His story a reminder that dignity can never be taken, only surrendered. And Curtis Mitchell? He never surrendered.